Hello all. So today we're going to discuss nutrition in school going age, which is a part of our nutrition through lifespan. So let's see what all we're going to say. So we'll be saying what is school going age, what are the nutritional requirements, what are the dietary guidelines, how do you pack lunches for school kids, school lunch programs which are present, and diet planning. So, what is school going age? Now, school going age, as such, is meant. When we say school going age, it means somebody like who's 6 years, and it ends at the onset of pubertal changes or adolescence. So, it is from 6 years to adolescence. Okay. So, the end of this period can vary between the sexes and also between individual children because some children mature earlier, they enter into puberty earlier than others. Now girls also mature earlier than boys, and even among girls there will be individual differences. For convenience we can say that school age children means those who are between 6 to 12 years. Okay, because preschool we had mentioned it was 2 to 6 years, and the next age is school going, which is 6 to 12 years. Now this is like a calm period even though it might not be for a lot of parents, but this is meant a calm period because of the fact that there's not a lot of changes that happen. There's no rapid growth or something like that like you see in infancy or preschool ages, etc. This is, you have fewer problems when you compare your like with preschool children and adolescents. So it is somewhere like 6 to 12 years you don't have much of a headache with these people compared to the others like preschool and the adolescents. Okay, the physical ability of the child improves, and the child is more skillful, he might be involved in more sports, etc. And it will be, the child is more independent, so the parents don't have to go behind for everything. Now a 6-year-old child is capable of eating alone, doing things alone, making they are able to make their individual decisions. So a school going age means somebody who is independent, mostly she can take bath on her own and things like that. So a lot of things can be done by their own. What about the growth in the school going children? Now, school age growth is called as a latent period of growth. As I've mentioned earlier, it is somewhere it's a slow growth, that is, rate of growth slows down. The body changes are very gradual. Usually, girls, outstand boys in this period in growth because, at the age of 11, 12, and all, girls start growing really rapidly because they are approaching their pubertal period. So, their height and weight and all kind of increases higher compared to boys of the same age. Now, the slow rate of growth during this period results in a gradual decline in the food requirement per unit body weight because when a 6-year-old child compared to a preschool child might not be as active, and their metabolic rate also slows down, so the nutrition, the food requirement might be lesser in the first few years, like 7 to 9 years. There is not much of a difference between boys and girls because there might be progressing on just like the boys and girls will be progressing at the same rate. But after 9 years, sometimes what happens is the girls will start growing really fast, and then by the age of 10 or 11, girls may be taller and heavier than a boy of the same age. Another characteristics that you can notice is that there is individuality in growth rate of children. There's some children might be really growing taller compared to their peers. There is little growth in head size, but the trunk and legs grow because brain growth is complete during the preschool years itself. So around 6 years and all, the brain develop like at the age of 8, there is not any more change in the brain growth. So like that is why school going children, there's not much of a difference in the head size, etc. Skeletal maturation occurs during these years. Now, they don't have very specific special nutritional requirements because they require all nutrients because they are growing children. They need to have a well balanced diet, and children who play a lot and who are very active, they will need more energy compared to children who are less active, who spends more time reading or watching TV or painting or drawing. That is like sedentary activities. Now, children who are like always outside, they are playing and all, they will need more energy, calorie rich foods. Now, if the child is getting adequate diet, school age children have a low risk of having any nutritional problems because they are not problem creators like the other groups. Now, but then here also we have to be careful because inadequacy in a child's diet will affect her, like especially by while growing, like when they're growing older, they might not be having, they're reaching their potential height, etc., if they are not fed well. So blood formation also keep pace with the need for increased blood supply for the child's growing body. So children from this age group have more resistance to disease than preschoolers. They are mostly healthy compared to preschoolers. Then starting school, there are a lot of different habits that come. As we have mentioned, preschool is a time for the for forming the foundation of dietary habits. Now school going child is where the habits are established. It's very difficult to change from that time onwards. That is, the school going children, what do they do is like, they have a certificate, like they have certain likes, dislikes, etc. And also meal times should also be adjusted according to the child's schedule, because the child, some children might be going really early to school, like around maybe 7 o'clock in the morning. Some children might be going only at 9 o'clock. So the meal timings or their habits all depend on these school timings also. So we need to make sure that the child has a good breakfast. Even if the child leaves home at 7 o'clock, the food should be, breakfast must be prepared. Either the child eats at home or should have it packed, and so that the child can have it in school. For example, if the child has to travel a lot and she goes out, like gets out from home at 6 o'clock in the morning, then sometimes the child might not be able to eat the food breakfast from home, so she might have to take it along with her as a packed food. So it's very important that breakfast should be given lot of importance, because a hungry child cannot concentrate and participate fully in the learning experience. They'll have lot of problems if breakfast is not taken. So, protein rich foods, cereals, iron rich foods, then vitamin C, all these things can be given at breakfast time. And lunch is mostly packed. For most children, it's like you have to give them a packed lunch. And so this is that packed lunch should have like 1/3 of the child's requirement for a day. So it is very difficult for a child to sit down and eat with a lot of concentration, because the child might be involved in a lot of activities, and you can't force them also to uh, you know uh, to eat something. So what happens is at the meal times, before the meal times and all, it's better, it's always good that you avoid snacks, etc., so that the child does not feel like she doesn't want the food. So the child should be given good nutritious foods, and you need to set an example. So do not give chocolates and snacks or fizzy drinks, etc., at the odd timings, especially during and like just before meal timings, etc. So that should also be avoided. So school children, there is a huge thing that they develop habits at this age. Now, breakfast, as I mentioned earlier, good breakfast helps in attention span, good social behavior, gives a sense of security and contentment, and of course, it prevents snacking and binging. What happens is if children does not eat breakfast, they feel hungry and they start eating on any junk food, like maybe chips or any biscuits, etc. And that's ultimately going to be a bad habit, right? So most school children and adolescents rush through their breakfast, or sometimes they completely skip it also. Like what happens is when they sleep late, what happens is they won't be able to rise up or wake up early. So they'll have to, rush to school. So all these leads to missing breakfast. So that should be completely avoided. Lot of importance should be given to breakfast. Now, school routine pressure can give them, a rushed morning routine. So that is why it should, all those positive habits should be inculcated in this school age itself, so that children learn to know the importance of breakfast and how it is very important to take it. Now, the adequacy of any child's food and nutrition intake will depend on sibling company. If all the the brothers, sisters are there, they are all eating well, then naturally the child will also start eating. If one of the siblings say that, oh, I don't want this, it's very boring food, what is this, I don't like chapati, why are you making chapati, something like that. what happens is the naturally this the child will also start keeping them as a model and start becoming fuzzy eaters or picky eaters. Now peer pressure is one thing, like when they go to school they see other children stiffen and they see that, oh, they have brought noodles, I also want noodles. And they bought this curry, I liked it very much, I please mama bring, I also want this for my lunch. So this is like peer pressure is there. Then models set by parents and other adults in the family. That is also very important because ultimately the children learn from their parents. Then personal attitudes, practices. Sometimes they have knowledge, but they cannot translate into practice. They know that breakfast is very important for them, but then they are not able to get up early in the morning. So that is why they may not be able to eat their breakfast. Then, of course, there's another problem like psychologically they should be, and free from any stress. So the whole home environment should be really harmonious. There should not be any stress. Then there is a lot of influence from the mass media, all those commercial advertisements that come along the way, like eating this and this, the advertisements for all the junk foods, and then all the type of foods that you see in the media. So then convenience foods, fast food joints, all these have an impact on children, because children like all these foods, fast foods and all, which are very tasty, and it's very convenient also. What are the recommended dietary allowances of school children? So when the weight is around 25 to 26 kg, in 7 to 9 year old, that is common for both boys and girls because the growth rate is same. Energy is around 1850, protein is 41 grams, fat is 25 grams, calcium is 400, iron is around 26 mg, vitamin A is 600 microgram, beta carotene is around 2400 microgram, and thiamine, riboflavin, all these have a, I know the vitamin C is around 40 mg, folic acid is 60. And when it comes to 10 to 12 years, you can see that there is a difference in girls and boys because the rate of, growth is different. Because sometimes what happens is the girls might grow a little more. So that is why the protein requirement for girls at this age is higher than that of boys, because their growth rate is more rapid. But you can see the others, there is not much of a difference, and there is a very slight difference in other nutrients like thiamine, riboflavin, etc. The ascorbic acid and all are almost the same. You can see there is energy. Of course, boys need more because of the fact that they are more physically active. So that is why energy, in the case of energy, boys need more. But in the case of protein, girls need more because of the fact that they are growing. The rate of growth is higher in case of 10 to 12-year-old girls. Now, requirements for boys is increased, like because of the fact that they are, building, they have to build reserves for their adolescent period. And girls require more protein because of the approaching menarche. Now, about minerals, calcium, of course, 10 to 12-year-old children require more calcium than adults because they are at this age where they are growing their bones, etc. And iron is also should be there because the blood volume increases. Um, the rate of absorption is higher in girls compared to boys. That is why the iron requirement for girls here is little less. But when it comes to adolescent, the requirement becomes higher for girls. Now, muscular growth is more in boys. That is why they need more iron. Then vitamins, vitamin A and vitamin C is the same as adults, and vitamin B requirement is related to the caloric requirement. Now, children who skip breakfast should make up for their nutrient and energy deficits later in the day, and that is why they need to make up for it. And it's always best to eat breakfast because it gives you more concentration. They are able to perform well in school, etc. So there's another aspect of school going children, because of the fact that it is at this age that children are exposed to different cultures, different food attitudes, new tastes, etc. Because they are being exposed to their peers in school who bring maybe different foods compared to what they eat at home. So up till the age of preschool, they have only seen the home environment and the home food. But after, when they are in school, they have more exposure. They are being exposed to more things. And of course, other influences are also there, like social media, television, mass media, etc. Now, what are the dietary guidelines or very basic guidelines for school going children? The diet should include foods from all five food groups. It should meet their increasing activity, growth, special needs during sickness, injury, etc. Then the menus could be quick, it's easy and but nutritionally satisfying. There should be some variety in color, texture, taste, and flavor, because it is at this school going child, because they become tired of certain foods very fast. Then when in climatic conditions should also be considered, like when it is extremely hot, the children might be going to school and they might be playing, so they need more liquids. Salts should be given so that they don't have any problem of dehydration. Then the child's food should be suiting to their varying appetite. Sometimes children eat a lot, sometimes they have less appetite, etc. Then children like snacks, so try to give healthy snacks and introduce new foods at frequent intervals. And they should be encouraged to eat with other family members, and they should be especially during lunch and dinner and all, their family lunch you can't have it because of the fact that they are in school. So dinner can be a family experience where all of the family members come together and eat together, so that they have a bonding with the family, and they respect others taste, etc. Now, what are the different problems faced by school going children? Now, we have told earlier that school going children have lesser nutritional problems compared to adolescent children and the preschool child. So, what are the different for school children? The main problem comes like underweight. It could be due to inadequate diet, could be due to poverty, ignorance of parents, lack of time, emotional disturbance, depression, or not, if the child the parents not considering the likes and dislikes of the child, etc. So undernutrition or underweight is a problem. Then comes constipation, because children kind of don't eat green leafy vegetables or other vegetables and fruits. They tend to eat other foods, so cereals and maybe chicken or meat, etc. So sometimes there's a problem of constipation, and children might be eating less also. Then there is a lack of sufficient sleep, activity, especially some children are, we know that some school children are extremely stressed with their schoolwork. They might be having tuitions, they might be having some music lessons, dance lessons, everything together. They are very stressed out. They don't have time for any food or anything. They just eat something and they don't even know what they are eating. So such problems can occur in children of school going age. Then dental caries, of course, children who eat a lot of sweets will have problems with their teeth. That is also very common among school going children. Now, coming to packed lunches, a packed lunch, as mentioned earlier, it should have at least one third of the caloric requirements, okay, and proteins of the child. So, the packed lunch should contain all, preferably of all the five food groups. So, it should be nutritionally adequate, at least one serving of green leafy vegetables, so that, at least one third of the vitamin and mineral requirements are met. Good quality proteins can be given by from milk, paneer, egg, meat, or combination of cereals and pulses. Then also you can give egg or any other protein foods. Then variety of food should be given. The same food should not be given every day. Some can be made colorful, and it should have the right consistency. It should not be very thick or gooey, or it should not just flow out of the tiffin. It should not be like extremely watery, etc. The container should be really clean, and there should not be any chance of spoilage of the foods, because it should be, when the food is being packed, it should be fresh, and when the child opens it when he goes to school, it should not be spoiled. It should be made fresh, so that there is no problem with the food when he or she opens the food later. So different lunchbox ideas can be given, like different like for each of the days of the week, it can be planned in advance, so that variety of foods can be given. Now there is another thing, that is government schools and some other private schools gives lunches in school. So school lunch programs are there. It should ideally provide 300 kilocalories of energy and 10 to 12 grams of protein. And this is generally for to improve the socio-economic conditions of the public. That is, it's very helpful for the economically weaker sections. So school lunch program in India is the largest food and nutrition assistance program feeding millions of children every day. So there is something called as midday meal scheme and all. And what are the different objectives of these school lunch programs? There is to provide food for undernourished children, to improve their nutritional status, to increase school enrollment, because usually, children who are of very poor families, they don't want to send their children. So when they're providing meals, some states even provide breakfast also, like Tamil Nadu and all provide breakfast. So when they are giving food for the children, that naturally the parents feel that okay, they can go to the children, they will feel motivated to send their children to school also. So the school enrollment will also increase and attendance of children will be better because they are getting good food. And you can orient good food habits because everybody is eating together, so there is a sense of harmony, everything. And also to incorporate nutrition education into the curriculum, to encourage the use of local commodities. The school, especially government schools and all, they make use of all the local resources. And also there will be participation of the community when it comes to feeding. Then the midday meal program is something which was started in 15th of August 1995. Please remember these dates. It is a combination of central government and state government, with the ratio of central government will like provide 40% of the money and 60% is taken by the state government. So the meals will given based on the combination of cereals, pulses and leafy vegetables, and provision of egg twice a week. So this is like such a diet is increasing the amount of vitamin and mineral intake and result in weight gain, lead to reduction of deficiency symptoms. So a lot of things can be given for food midday meal scheme. Now, in 2001, as per the Supreme Court orders, it became mandatory to give a midday meal to all primary and upper primary school children studying in the government and government aided schools. So this scheme has actually benefited a lot of children, like 140 million children in government assisted schools. And like for so that giving nutrition, not just food, it's also it encourages the children to go to school also. So in a country with large percent of illiterate population, with high percent of children unable to read or write, such midday meals program has consistently increased the enrollment in schools. So in Kerala, this scheme was launched way before it was launched by the central government in 1995. In Kerala, it was in 1984. So this is for the upper primary and the primary students of the government schools. So the scheme supply consists of supplying cooked food to school children, which is prepared using rice, pulse, vegetables, etc. Lot of nowadays milk is also given, and also milk and eggs are also given. Even in preschool level in Anganwadis, there is a lot of food which is given as per ICDS, and the Kerala government is also providing with milk, eggs, etc. So these are the different schemes which are there for providing nutrition for school children. Now comes ICDS. This scheme is like started in 2nd October 1975, which is funded by the central government, and also there is support from the UNICEF also. So it gives, it is something for to improve the health status of children in the preschool age. Here we can see a 5-year-old child's day sample diet. You can see early morning is she's given milk with sugar. Breakfast is some paratha or chapati with curd or egg and some bread. Then mid morning some fruits or fruit juice. Lunch rice, mixed vegetables, curd, chapati. Evening tea, biscuit, milk or biscuit. Dinner is dal, chapati, salad, fruits, custard, etc. So this is a vegetarian meal. Of course, other options are also. This is just a normal vegetarian meal which is can be given. So this is just an example meal here which is provided. So any variations can be given, so that all the 5 food groups, something from the pulse group, something from fruits, from vegetables, green leafy vegetables, all these should be added, so that the child's nutrition is adequate. Now next comes nutrition in adolescence. Now adolescence is the next period in the lifespan. So we'll be discussing what adolescence is, nutritional requirements, what are the factors influencing dietary guidelines, and a very important topic which is eating disorders which are seen in adolescence. So Adolescence is a period of transition from childhood to adulthood, and it is somewhere where there's a lot of accelerated physical, biochemical, emotional development. There is the final growth spurt which occurs during this age, and it's very, a lot of changes occur in the body because of influence of hormones, a lot of changes in height, weight, development of sexual characteristics, then muscular development, etc. Girls usually attain their menarche during the growth spurt, that is around 12, 13 years of age, and they attain their adult stature between the age of 18 to 20, but sometimes the bone mass continues to increase up to the age of 25. Now this is a period of psychosocial changes, that is, it is a period of maturation for both the mind and the body. Along with the physical growth, there is emotional, intellectual development. All these are rapid. They are uh, forming the ability to reason, develop problem solving skills, attain emotional maturity, etc. So there is a lot of shift from the childhood years, and they are becoming more and more independent. They are shifting away from the parental care to move into an adult life pattern. They start to form an identity of their own. They feel, sometimes what happens is they have identity crisis, which can be due to, because of their rapidly changing bodies. Developing an image of the physical self is always intertwined with nutritional issues. There is also a lot of peer pressure about food habits, dressing, group conduct. So everything is related to nutrition also. That is, girls, especially girls, will be wanting to, feel, look slim, beautiful, just like the models seen on TV, or their favorite actresses. So there is a lot of impact of mass media, social media on this age group. Physical and psychosocial pressure influences adolescents' eating habits, and boys fare better than their girls because of their large appetite, and they can eat a lot. They are very hungry. They kind of eat a lot, but adolescent girls, what happens is they gain weight easily, and they will grow a lot of fat during this period, and they will have less up of physical activity, and there is a lot of social pressures, personal tensions, etc., which concerns figure control, and which force them to follow these unwise self-imposed crash diets. Some children, some girls might want to just totally stop eating as such. And they might be eating very unhealthy foods, as per their, some social media, Instagram, some influencer says something, and they might just follow it blindly because of the fact that they are under great pressure. Then there is self starvation. They can have a lot of, it can lead to a lot of eating disorders, which we'll be discussing in detail later on, that is anorexia, bulimia, etc. So teenagers have the reputation of having the worst eating habits. They skip meals, they prefer fast foods, which are maybe high in calories, which will be very low in vitamins, minerals, etc. Now, coming to the nutritional requirements, energy needs are increasing because the metabolic demands are high. Girls usually tend to consume fewer calories compared to boys. Now, increase in appetite leads to satisfying their hunger with snack foods, usually that are high in sugar and fat and low in protein. Now, sometimes differences in calorie intake of boys and girls starts from around 10 or 11 years of age, and boys take higher calories than girls. Now, the protein needs are around 12 to 14% of the energy intake should come from proteins. Protein intakes exceeds 1 gram per kg body weight, especially during the pubertal period when the growth of muscles, hormonal changes, etc., very rapid. So you need more protein. They are same up to the there is difference like from boys and girls, like 10 to 12 years. The requirement of protein for girls is higher compared to boys, and later on, like after 13 years of age, boys requirement is more compared to girls of the same age. Now, coming to minerals, calcium, adolescents need a lot of calcium because of their increasing skeletal growth. About 150 is retained every day to allow for the increase in bone mass. Zinc is also needed because puberty and all, like sexual changes and all, zinc is essential. Then iron is very important. Iron is needed for hemoglobin synthesis, for increased blood volume, and also for muscle growth. So girls after like during their adolescence, they have attained their puberty. They need to um, like compensate for their losses during menstruation, because it's at that period of time that they start having their period. So they will have lot of losses of iron, that during when they are menstruating, they will lose a lot of iron. There is around 0.5 mg per day is lost during menstruation. So to compensate all that, they need to increase the amount of iron. There is increase in hemoglobin, and the requirement of growth is also very high. So for all this, the iron requirements increases. Then vitamins, all the important vitamins like vitamin B, like thiamine, riboflavin, niacin increases as the requirement of calories increase. Then folic acid, B12, they are also very essential for DNA and RNA synthesis. Then vitamin B6 requirement is also high. That is, they need across 100 mg per day. Then vitamin D is very needed, very much needed for calcium absorption, for skeletal growth, etc. Vitamin A, C, E, they're also increasingly needed for formation of cells, etc. What are the dietary guidelines for adolescents? Now, diet in adolescence is very important because they are like future adults, right? So the diet, as for all of them, it should include food from all the five food groups. It should be adequate and well balanced so that they can prevent both obesity and undernutrition. Calcium should be given in proper quantity so that there is increase in bone density. Then iron rich foods should be given so that to prevent anemia. You have to include green leafy vegetables, fruits. Then there should be variety in color, texture, taste, flavor, because they need, at this period, this is a period of experimentation. They want to explore new tastes, etc. So the food at home should be good enough. Then regular physical activity is essential. Then home-based food should be good so that they do not get addicted to eating out. Avoid empty calories like carbonated beverages, etc. And it's very important that no meals should be skipped. What happens is teenagers, what they do is they go to bed late, very late. Sometimes they go to, like they might be sitting in front of the phone or TV, and they might sleep very late, and they might get up extremely late. So there is a tendency to miss their breakfast and all. So it's a lot of care should be taken that no meal is missed. What are the factors influencing food choices? And this is a period of hunger, food craving. So they want to taste new foods, whatever seen in Instagram or social Facebook. They might want to try it out. Then appeal, the look of it. Just before you eat anything, you want to take a photograph of it. So the look of it matters a lot for teenagers. Then peer choices, what do their friends like? Then time consideration, convenience of food. They just want to grab something and go. They don't have time to eat a full meal sitting in one place. If that's a burger or any rolls they get, it means they can just walk and eat, or they can eat it in the comfort of any place. So food availability is a factor. Then parental influences on eating behavior. Then of course the benefits of food also, they are like, some people say that okay, this is very good for your skin. Your skin will shine if you eat this. Then that might trigger them to eat more. Then certain situation specific factors, sometimes moods change, body image, habit, cost of the foods, media, etc. can influence them. Like for example, some might feel very happy when they eat a lot of ice cream or something like that. So they're like they start resorting to comfort eating. They might want to eat chocolates because they make you feel good. When you're feeling sad, you do something, you eat something good. Like it could be such habits kind of take their roots in the adolescent period. Then sometimes there is a uh, you know uh, there is a chance that the adolescents eat less of fruits and vegetables, especially green leafy vegetables and all, because they might have no time. They don't have much time to think about nutritious aspect. They will just think about the convenience of it, the taste, etc. What are the different nutritional problems faced by adolescence. Mostly it is obesity, eating disorders, anemia, undernutrition, premenstrual syndrome for girls. What is obesity? Now, of course, lot of people, there are a lot of adolescent obese children here, because with the nutritional transition, lot of food availability and income, there is, because one of the major problems associated, or one of the major reasons, is physical inactivity and faulty food habits. Because of that, obesity is on the rise. Because of obesity, there are a lot of other problems like diabetes, heart diseases, etc. So they are also seen very much earlier than when it was usually seen. So excessive eating out, snacking, long time TV watching, snacking, parental neglect, little physical activity, then all those things lead to obesity. And also stress, anxiety also adds to this problem of overnutrition. So this is what happens during adolescence. So especially children who tend to eat comfort eating, like when they are sad or feeling anxious, they might eat a lot. So they find comfort in eating food. So such things also contribute to obesity. Then there is a problem of teenage mindset and eating disorders. And this is a whole big topic itself, because self image, this is something very important for a teenager, especially girls who tend to undereat in order to maintain or achieve a self identified ideal weight, which may be well below the true ideal weight. Now, this can lead to conditions like anorexia, when the thought or the sight of food can make them very nervous. So the child has a complete inability to eat, and the body fat dips to 4 to 7%. Now, boys, on the other hand, tend to eat better compared to girls. So these people, they need a counseling regarding a healthy diet, and the parents have to make a lot of efforts to feed them with good foods like fruits, vegetables, and all that. And the parents should be encouraged, so that the children or the teenagers should come and eat with the family. Then only they will eat good. Teenagers usually are not very concerned about the risk of future health problems. They always think about the present. So that is why they need to have a good sound background of nutritional knowledge. Now, coming to eating disorders, there are three eating disorders which are recognized. One is anorexia nervosa, in which you are forcefully starving yourself to remain thin or lean. And bulimia nervosa is overeating, and then you're, uh, throwing it out or vomiting it out. That is bulimia nervosa. And the next one is binge eating. It is like eating too much, eating anytime, anywhere, whenever food is available, eating a lot. This is due to maybe tensions, nervous, anxiety, etc. Now, coming to each of them, anorexia nervosa sometimes is only simply called as anorexia. It is characterized by very abnormally low body weight, intense fear of gaining weight, and a very distorted perception of weight. People with anorexia place a high value on controlling their weight and shape, giving lot of effort so that they are not gaining any weight. So they eat very little food, and they start, sometimes even vomiting after eating, or they may eat, laxative, so that they just, put all, it goes out as fecal matter. Then diet aids or diuretics, enema may be taken, so that all the food is gone. And they might also tend to exercise excessively. So that is what is anorexia. Now, coming to, so they feel that they are very fat in spite of the fact that they are very thin. So thin appearance, what are the symptoms of anorexia? They have abnormal blood counts, they will be anemic, they'll be having a lot of fatigue, they will not have a good sleep, dizziness, fainting, bluish discoloration of the fingers because of lack of blood, hair which is very thin, which breaks or falls out, soft, downy hair which covers the body. Sometimes the menstrual cycle is also affected because of lack of blood. There might be absence of menstruation. There might be constipation, abdominal pain, yellow, dry skin, intolerance of cold because they might be feeling very cold. Then irregular heart rates, low blood pressure, dehydration, swelling of arms, legs, etc. So these are the typical symptoms of anorexia. Now they might even have like, very thin hair, yellow skin, tachycardia, which means, the heart rate is abnormally high. Hypotension is lack, low blood pressure, etc. Amenorrhea is no menstrual cycles. Next comes bulimia nervosa. It is usually commonly called as bulimia. Now, this is also, they tend to eat a lot and then they will purge or vomit, trying to get rid of the extra calories in a very unhealthy way. So they eat a lot and then they secretly binge eat and then they purge out or throw it out. So to get rid of the calories and prevent weight gain, people with bulimia can use lot of different methods. They might just self-induce vomiting. They also can give weight loss supplements or enemas, etc. So these are the ways in which they eat a lot and then they purge out. That is what is bulimia. Now they are also preoccupied with the thoughts of body shape, weight. They always live in a fear of gaining weight. They have a repeated episodes of eating abnormally large amount of food in one sitting. They might be just eating one whole, big can of ice cream in one go, and they might feel a loss of control during binging, like they can't stop eating or they can't control what they eat, and they force themselves to vomit, etc. Then they may use laxatives, diuretics, or enemas, etc. They might even sometimes fast, so that they go out of eating anything when they are feel out of control, etc. And they might use a lot of dietary supplements or any other products. So this is a very vicious cycle where they eat a lot and then they self-induce vomiting, again eat and vomit. So this is called as bulimia nervosa. Next one is binge eating. Binge eating is like the most common eating disorder. They do not purge, fast, or engage in anything. They just eat a lot. People with bulimia are typically of normal weight or maybe slightly overweight, whereas people with binge eating disorder, they just overweight or obese. They just keep eating. It is a psychiatric disorder in which subject periodically does not exercise control over the consumption of foods and eats unusually large amount of food at one particular time. Like for example, they are just watching TV and they keep on eating non-stop, eat large amounts of foods even when they are not hungry. Usually they do it when they are eating alone, so that nobody sees it. And during, they feel embarrassed about it, but they feel guilty also, but they can't control it. It's a psychiatric disorder. They just keep eating, especially junk foods like ice creams or biscuits or anything that they like. This is the binge eating disorder. Now, another problem of adolescence is, other than the eating disorders, inadequate calcium intake, iron deficiency, anemia. These two are mineral deficiency problems. We know that requirement of iron and calcium is at its peak in adolescence because of increase in skeletal mass and blood volume. But unfortunately, a lot of people have problems in this deficiency. You know, uh, they're not getting enough calcium and iron. So that is why that is an important problem during this age. Then a predisposition to osteoporosis because of the lack of deficiency of calcium. It can lead to a predisposition or a tendency to develop osteoporosis later in life. So excessive exercise, high fiber, low fat intake leads to change in the estrogen levels, and because of that, there is irregular menstruation, low bone mass, etc. So the dietary deficiency can lead to osteoporosis later in life. Then, of course, anemia could be due to non-availability of healthy foods, certain food taboos like around eating meat, etc. Then personal likes and dislikes. All this can lead to anemia. Then undernutrition is also very common, like especially for anorexic children and all. Uh, it's children who avoid healthy foods because of peer influence. They might not eat certain foods. Then extreme consciousness about their weight, skipping meals, eating from out, food fads, emotional disturbances, early marriage, all this can lead to undernutrition in adolescence. Then in girls, especially premenstrual syndrome is very common, can be observed like 10 days before the onset of menstruation. Sometimes it can lead to like a lot of problems like abdominal bloating, breast engorgement, constipation. There can be edema of the legs, then headache, irritability, anxiety, depression, tension, lack of concentration, increased appetite, craving for sweet or salty foods. So these can be a problem in adolescence. So these are the different problems faced by adolescent children, and a lot of care should be taken that adolescents should be given healthy foods, and all the five food groups should be incorporated into their diets, and care should be taken that there is no they should be given a lot of encouragement psychologically also, so that they don't have any eating disorders. And the parents should also play a very good important role in encouraging them to eat with the family and eat healthy meals, and especially eating from home. Don't encourage them to eat from outside or eat more of junk foods, etc. And so it should be a very important priority in the like the adolescent must be given a lot of care compared to the school going children or any other age group.